you guys. Hello. If you are brand new and don't know who I am, then hello. My name is Ash Bae, mindset mentor, crystal boutique owner, mindset witch, all of the things. Basically, I'm just here to help you learn how to human, help you navigate life with more ease, remove limits, love yourself, have total devotion to yourself, all of the beautiful things. Basically, we're reaching our higher selves and highest potential. So, today on the podcast, I'm going to talk about something that might be a little triggering. So, buckle in, strap in, because it might trigger some of you, but it's coming from a place of the heart, from love. So, what the fuck is with these fat injections? I don't know if you guys have seen it. Don't know if you are in the loop, but it's all over the TikToks and it's all over the news. So basically, from what I gather, it's something you can inject in yourself. Like it comes in a syringe. It's being given to people for weight loss. And I guess if you take it, maybe you take it for the rest of your life. Maybe you take it for like 3 months, even though that kind of doesn't sound like that's the case. But I don't know. What do I know? So, yeah, anyway, it's for weight loss. And I'm not going to say I don't understand, because I do understand. I've been there. I've been the person who's like, well, let me just get on the Googles really quickly and research the like lipo or the fat cellular freezing, all of those things, like let me just freeze off a love handle or two and then all of my problems will be solved. No. That's not how it works. But I've been there, right? Like, so I'm not going to say I don't get it. Like, I get it. I've been there. I've been in the state of mind of, if only I could freeze off a love handle, or if only I could lose this much weight, or if only I could fit into this size jeans. But that's not the solution, right? So this, I guess, like, kind of just so I could go on and on and on forever about like how we have a really shitty healthcare system and how things aren't really regulated really well by the government, by like the FDA and all of the chemicals, and that's a whole nother thing for a whole different day. But this is very much so linked to that, I feel like. And so that's why it just kind of like makes me twinge a little bit when I'm like, no. Like, I just kind of want to like shake people and be like, no, like, don't do the freezing. Don't do the injectables. There are better ways and safer ways. So essentially, though, this isn't a podcast necessarily about health and nutrition. So it really comes down to loving ourselves, I call it total devotion. So there is a god or goddess literally inside of you. So bear with me here. We're all stardust. We're all made of source. We're all made of the same shit. We're made of the same things in the sky, the stars. We're all a part of source, right? Source is us. We are source. So how can we get to a place of honoring ourselves, honoring that God, honoring that goddess inside of ourselves, a place of total devotion to ourselves, total love for ourselves, right? So if we can do that and have just complete love for ourselves, then we can come to a place of enough. This is enough. This moment right now, right here, as I'm talking to you, as I exist in this space, this moment is enough. And then the same with our bodies. And also, so to go off on a small tangent, realizing that we are not our bodies. We're kind of just like, again, these pieces of stardust and source. And we're just kind of like in this meat suit. This is like our vessel, right? This is like our spaceship that we're navigating through physical time and space in, that we use to like pick up things in our physical reality. But our souls, our consciousness, it's not our bodies. We are so much more than that. So again, if we can come back to a place of total self-love, total self-devotion, and total sense of like enough. And that's not to say like when we say enough that we just give in and you're like, it is what it is, right? Like, this is just how it's gonna be. I'm unhealthy and I have all these ailments and I don't really care about nutrition. It is what it is. That's not what we're saying. So when we say enough, it just means having that sense of like everything that is right now is enough in this moment. So if we can love ourselves without having to lose the extra pounds, lose the extra fat, when we love ourselves and have that compassion with ourselves, then that in itself will want us, it'll motivate us to be the better version of ourselves. So if you guys don't know, and if you're brand new, again, hello, welcome. This is kind of a weird topic for me if you're brand new, by the way. I don't usually cover stuff like this. I mean, talking about like fat injectables, but you know, highest selves and gods and goddesses, that's pretty on brand. Anyway, so God, what was I even saying? Woo, sparkles. So, okay, yeah. So if you're brand new and you don't know, my whole shtick, my whole thing, my mission, the things, all the things that I do. So I do mindset mentoring. I do one-on-one. They're called transfiguration sessions. I also have a Modern Magick Coven. So inside the coven, we do full moon circles. There's a moon tracker, and we bring in classes, guest speakers for you to learn different types of magic, different types of things every month, so that way you can implement it into your own life. And everything that I do is to get you to be on track, or to get you on track, keep you on track with your highest self and your highest potential. Because I believe, I am 100% certain that there is a God goddess in every single one of us. Yes, you. I don't care if you don't believe it. Yes, you. I said it. And they are bursting at the seams to get out. So everything that I do, my mission is to literally help you rise to that you, that version of you. So going back, that's why I do everything that I do, is to help bring you guys like this sense of love for yourself. And then that way that extends out. And once we have this love, we're like, okay, I do deserve more. I do deserve to be this, like, it's not just be, it's embody this God, embody this goddess, and stand up, be a leader of my own life. Let me pause and say that again. A leader of your own life, right? Because we all have to be our own advocate, right? Because no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to hold your hand and say, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, maybe for some people to an extent, sure, that is a thing. But for the most part, we all have to be our own advocates. We have to be our own leaders of our own life. We get to choose every single day when we get up in the morning, and we get to witness another day and be thankful. Like, oh my God, today is literally a present. Today is literally an opportunity. What am I going to do with this opportunity? What am I going to do with today? How am I going to step and walk and shape my actions today in order to walk towards the path of my highest self? And I'm going to pause, because that can kind of seem daunting and overwhelming for some people, because that sounds like a lot. That sounds like, how the fuck am I supposed to live up to this God, to this goddess, to this highest self, this big being, all of this energy, when I kind of feel like shit today? I know. And that's part of it, right? So again, a whole nother thing of everything that I do is about being in flow with your own energy, your unique energy, right? So we're going to be in flow with our own unique energy, and everybody's different. Everybody manages and flows and does things differently. They just operate differently. We're going to honor that. That's part of honoring the God or goddess in you, honoring your highest self. So when you honor that, you get more in flow with your energy, you become more in tune with yourself. And then that way, even on the days that you feel like shit, you can still be like, yeah, I kind of feel like shit today. I'm a little bit tired today, but I'm still a fucking badass, and I'm still a god or goddess. So I'm going to take a nap, but I'm going to take a nap as my highest self, as my best self. And we love ourselves for it, right? And it might sound silly because, I mean, again, I'm with you. I get it. I know. Like, I was the person, I kind of still am the person who, when you talk about self love and self compassion, it just sounds like really airy fairy, and it sounds a little like touchy feely and huggy, and not a lot of people are like down with that, especially for some of my neurodivergent baddies out there who just, again, our brains operate differently, our sensories operate differently, the way we feel things is different. So sometimes touch and hugs and things like that don't feel warm and fuzzy, and that's okay. That's fine. So when I talk about self-love and self-compassion, it doesn't necessarily mean go around and giving yourself a hug or giving other people hugs or anything like that. I that's why I like to call it total self devotion, being devoted to the god or goddess within you, devoted to your highest self, the highest version of you. And when I say that, I don't want it to sound like it's a lot, because it's really not. We take small steps. If you guys can hear a whir like robot sounds in the background, we have a litter robot for the cats, and it's cycling right now. So that's what that is. Sorry. But anyway, so again, where was I? So, yeah, total self-devotion to yourself, total self-love for yourself. Can we get to a place where this moment that we're in right now is enough? Can we get to a place where we are enough and we don't need to lose another pound? We don't need to drop another dress size, whatever it is. Can we be enough for ourselves? And then rather than reaching for these alleged quick fixes, because they're not, like, they're probably just going to create more problems, whether it's in your bank account or in your body or whatever, I really invite you to find and maybe dig, just get curious, where is the sense of not enough coming from? And I don't believe in digging up all your bullshit, right? I don't believe in making you relive your trauma. Nobody needs that. I don't want you to, some people, some coaches, some therapists, they're like, well, let's go back into childhood and let's look at this and when this happened and how did that make you feel? Like, it made me feel fucking traumatized. That's why I'm the way I am. So I don't want to do that. That's not my method. That's not how I work. That's not how I operate. So when you work with me, my whole method is, let's just take a look at the scenario. What's going on? So clearly we're feeling not enough. Why do we feel not enough? Where do we feel like that came from? Who do we think made us feel not enough? And then you can just identify the person, and you identify them without judgment. So when you identify them, it's without judgment. So I don't want you to go through this whole like, oh, you did this, you did that. Just identify. Our whole practice is about being aware and noticing. And then you can work on forgiving that person. And I love the phrase, the sentence of whenever this comes up for me personally, and then I tell my clients this too. So when you identify that person, try and tell yourself that that person did the best that they could with what they had at that time, in that moment, in that space. Right? So that, just to break it down, means whatever tools, know-how, for lack thereof, even maybe, they're just doing what they can, like, just like every day, you and I are doing what we can, and nobody is perfect. We're all gonna fuck up, right? That's part of the human experience. So how can we forgive this person for what they said or did? And it really helps to just come back and realize that they are human. They did the best that they could, even if it doesn't seem like it, even if it seems really fucked up and you're like, how the fuck could you do that? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Just telling yourself they did the best that they could with what they had at that moment, at that time. So And then once we do that, just take a look at, okay, so this feeling of I'm not enough, right? Like it's real. It's in my brain. It's a reality, right? Like the thought, the feelings that I have in my body, they genuinely exist. Like the thought is there. The feelings and the thoughts of me not being enough are there. But are they true? Right? So even though they might be real, they're real, they exist, they're valid, but are they true? Okay. And then how do you know it's true? What makes you believe that it's true? Ask yourself that. And these are great questions to journal on. How do you know it's true? How do I know that I'm not genuinely enough? And then kind of when you get to this point, more often than not, you'll start to realize like, even though this thought is real, this thought is not true. And it is a thought that I've placed in my mind. And again, no judgment to you either. It's not that you've placed it there to get, you're not out to get yourself with intention, but we've learned it through experiences and through emotions over the span of our lifetime, typically in childhood. So we have these experiences, these things happen to us. And on top of that, it's kind of like a sandwich. So you have the bottom piece of the sandwich. That's the event. That's the thing that happened to you. And now the middle, like the innards of the sandwich, all like the juicy bits, that's the emotion that came from the event, right? So now you've got all this emotion, and it might be messy. There might be like full of sauce up in there. It's a messy sandwich. So you've got the event, the emotion, and then that created what you perceive as reality, what you feel in your body, the emotions, even subconsciously. That is what makes you feel like you are not enough. So you're walking through your entire life, even though you're not maybe consciously walking around telling yourself, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. Maybe you are, but most of us aren't. And it just pops up. It's almost like little like glaciers or like just little like bubbles, like little bubbles that rise to the surface. And these stories play in our mind subconsciously, just like little bits, and they pop up here and there and pop up here and there. And it's consistent enough that it's now a habit. So now we formed the habit of telling ourselves that we are not enough. Woo! So how do we break the habit? How do we form new habits and new thought patterns? And this is where the thought, the belief, the phrase, which again, I'm totally on board with, our brains, our minds literally shape and build our reality. That is 100% true, and I'll say it again. Our brains, our thoughts, our mind literally shape our reality, shapes and builds our reality. So if we can change our thoughts, if we can change our perceptions, if we can change our habits, the small actions that we do every day, whether it's conscious or subconscious, shapes and changes the reality that we literally live in. Fucking mind-blowing, right? It's cool stuff. And it's so, it's probably the most powerful thing that I have learned in my short life so far. And it's some of the most powerful magic, right? Like like words can't even describe how powerful it is to literally transform from one state of being into a completely other state of being. And it might not even be something that you can conceptualize right now in this moment, because it's not part of your reality, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. So it's the fucking craziest thing. So if we can do that around the feelings of not enough, reshaping our thought patterns, reshaping our habits, then we don't need these crazy things like freezing the fat cells or injecting ourselves to lose weight. Like, it's not healthy. It's not sustainable. And at the end of the day, all I want for all of us is genuine growth, genuine expansion, transformation into our highest selves, living our best fucking lives. And just thriving, but thriving sustainably in a way that we can continue to do it throughout the rest of our lives. You know, like if you go super fast, you're going to crash and burn. We need to take things slow. We need to take things gradual. We need to just flow, you know, and over time, sustainable action is the key. So that's all I wanted to say today. Again, talking about fat loss. I don't know. It's not really typical for me, but it was just kind of on my mind. I've been seeing it so much in the news and TikTok and all the things, and I'm just like, Ma! Can we maybe not? I don't know. But if you choose to do it, it's your life, it's your journey, obviously. But, you know, there are more sustainable ways. So, speaking of though, if you're brand new, I have a Modern Magick Coven. So we jump into the group. It's a Facebook group. We have moon circles every month. Everybody gets a personal reading every month. There's meditations every month. There's a class every month. Tons of resources, tons of support on the daily, all the things. And this month, at the end of this month, if you're watching this in real time, today is April 6th. So at the end of this month in April, we are having a guest speaker. It's a body transformation speaker. And essentially, she is coming in to talk about all things nutrition and self-love and body image and removing the confusion, removing the overwhelm for all of the things and making it easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Because my whole thing is let's work smarter, not harder, right? We're trying to navigate life with more ease. So how can I be the best me, the best version of me in the most simple, easy way, but effective way possible? So if you're in it, stay tuned for that. And if you're not, jump in before that happens at the end of April. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.